Welcome, my curious companions of the cosmos. Today we're doing another sloppy tier list.
Sloppy tier list?
Let's be honest, this content is not very high quality.
I think this one's going to be good. This is quality stuff. Fallacies.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, this is on fallacies. The fallacies consist of an incredible, diverse amount of issues and flaws in logic, which are used in faulty reasoning. Just you everyone who watches this knows what fallacies are. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's just start. First, let's start with the levels of this tier list.
Okay, come on then. Tell me what we got.
God tier nonsense at the top.
So I assume that means it's a very common fallacy, very bad.
Well, it kind of means just when someone's using it. This is bollocks, man.
So it's when they use it we're going for. Okay, cool.
How annoying it is and stuff like that. Makes sense. And it's literally just God's crap just coming down. It's like when you get that seagull like pooping on your head, except it's just God's almighty massive poo bigger than you.
All right.
Next, we got dribble, which is just, you know what dribble is, but...
I'm fairly certain I know what dribble is. Yeah.
Do you know what dribble is?
No, I have no idea, actually. Why don't you tell people what dribble is?
Dribble's basically when you got a bit of, like, saliva coming out your mouth.
I was just going to say Ben Shapiro, but...
Oh,
fine.
yeah.
All right, sure.
Yeah, and Alex Jones.
Serious crap!
Also, Rationality Rules.
Yo, shots fired.
Next, we've got been caught, which is... You've been caught in your actions here. This is not a very good fallacy to be caught using.
Okay.
And it's just... it's not very nice. And let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
You've hurt my feelings.
All right, midriff.
Then we got typical debate blunder.
So it comes up a lot.
Yeah, it's something that's just, you've made a simple mistake. We can get around this. I'm just going to Iron Man you here, and then we're good.
Okay, all right, yeah.
And then next we've got reaching hard, which I don't expect any of these to really go in, which is basically saying, come on, man, like, just let them have it. It's hard reaching that so this is a problem.
Is that like the one where it is a fallacy, but it's just not worth pointing it out?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't expect any of these to go in it.
Let's find out. Let's find out what we got.
Just want to show this off quick.
Oh yeah, that's a good mug right there. And also whatever he's drinking out of.
Now we can start. Okay. Non sequitur. Do you want to start with this one?
Sure thing. So a non sequitur it means when something doesn't follow from the conclusion.
Yes.
So typically what happens is someone will say, let's try and give an example. They might say, it's raining outside, therefore I need my coat.
Yeah.
That, if they mean outside their window, fair enough, right?
Yeah.
But if they just mean outside, well, that doesn't follow, does it? It's going to be raining somewhere in the world.
Yeah.
So, not the greatest example, but that's what's happening with non sequiturs. It's not following from the conclusion. To
make it a bit more broad and easy to understand, I'd just say a non sequitur is basically, it's raining outside. Therefore, my granddad's a mathematician.
Yes, if you want to go for the more extreme, that's what
it makes
happens.
no sense.
But in most cases, they tend to tacitly link to whatever's being discussed, right? Suppose someone was to say, if William Lane Craig rejects slavery, then, obviously slavery's not in the Bible.
Yes.
That doesn't work like that. That doesn't follow. Because even if it were the case, and it is the case, I believe, that William Lane Craig rejects slavery, that doesn't follow that it's not in the Bible. It just means that he's, a product of our woke culture from the Enlightenment. But that's the non sequitur. Comes up all the time, but they tend to be closely integrated into the claim. And so they can be a little difficult to notice.
Yeah. So where do you want to put this? We've got God tier nonsense, dribble, been caught, typical debate blunder, or reaching hard.
I'll be honest, this is hard for me, right? Because been caught happens a lot. God tier nonsense, it is, because it literally doesn't follow from the premises. It is dribble because of this.
But it is a typical debate blunder as well.
It's a very typical blunder. I wouldn't say it's among the most typical. I would say that it is...
It's not...
Yeah, it's hard.
When you commit a non sequitur, a lot of the time, it's not a purposely conscious thought of rhetoric.
No.
It can be. It 100% can be, but most of the time it's just a typical flaw in one's reasoning, and they don't mean to, and they want to improve upon it.
True, but most fallacies fall into that. Most fallacies are not deliberately done, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so where's it going? You're going to have to start us off, dude. You're going to have to start us off, Austin.
I want to say being caught.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like you know what? You've been caught. Non sequitur.
You've been framed.
You've been framed. Very old reference for someone that's 15. Okay.
Yeah.
Stick it in the list.
Next we have ad hominem.
Shut up, Austin.
Hey, that's an ad hominem. See what he did there? Ooh. Shut up, Steve.
That's just out of order. I've had enough. I'm leaving now. You know, you do this one on your own.
So, an ad hominem.
Yep.
Ad hominem is basically when you choose to insult the person rather than discredit the argument.
Yep.
In the terms that, say someone says, like William Lane Craig, I have a video on him doing this. Someone asked him, if so many seemingly well-informed critics reject Christianity, then isn't that a bit strange? Like, so many well-informed critics.
Oh, yeah. Good video.
Yeah.
Link in the description.
Yeah. And he replies with, well, they're just ignorant.
Yeah.
So instead of actually addressing how, like, this is a bit of a problem, he just straight goes to, well, these scholars are just ignorant. They don't know enough on the premises of what they're talking about.
Yep. No, and ad hominem, I would say this is very much a typical blunder, but people don't see it as a blunder. They see it as a gotcha, like an own. So, you know, what would be another example of a non sequitur? Hey, you owe me money because I lent it to you and now I want it back. That could be the proposition that's being discussed, the argument, if you will. And then the other person could respond by saying, yeah, but you smell. That's why you're not having the money. Now, in this case, it's kind of a non sequitur, right?
Yeah.
But it's also an ad hominem. And that's what I find with ad hominems. They're often wrapped up with other fallacies. And sometimes they're wrapped up with sound logic.
Yeah.
For instance, you could say, Tucker Carlson doesn't know anything about climate change because he is a massive idiot.
Yeah.
Well, it's an ad hominem, but I'm right in the first thing. There's nothing wrong with what I was saying there. I can back that up.
Yeah.
If it was Tucker Carlson, he would go in the god tier nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like trying to listen to Joe Biden at the presidential debate.
Keep yapping, man.
Oh my God, it's like trying to listen to Trump be coherent these days. My word.
Yeah, and putting makeup on his hand.
Mate, honestly, Trump's become Biden on steroids. It's unbelievable. It's like sponsored by Alzheimer's.
Oh, you know what I could put in? What we had this morning? Big shout out to Darth Vader.
And I will say this, that we have Darth Vader. You know Darth Vader, right?
What, release the Palpatine files now?
Where do you want to put this?
Well, I think ad hominem is dribble.
I actually think it's god tier nonsense.
God tier nonsense. I can understand this.
But I feel that might be a bit too strong.
I'll tell you what, why don't you put it in god tier nonsense and then
We can move it down.
when you find something else, yeah. Go on, you idiot. Put it in god tier nonsense.
Next, we have false distinction. Do you want to explain this one?
Yeah, false distinction, otherwise known as a distinction without a difference. It occurs when someone basically is giving a symmetry breaker, so a reason why one thing is plausible, whereas another thing isn't, but the distinction isn't real, right? So an example that comes to mind is, suppose someone's lying, and then you say, dude, you're lying, what's going on? And they go, I wasn't lying, I just didn't tell you the truth.
Yeah.
It's a distinction without a difference. Omitting information is tantamount to lying. And so that's what happens a lot with justification. This is when they're trying to justify their views, their claims, and it falls into that venue, if you will.
The thing with this is that I don't think it's extremely popular of a fallacy to be used. You don't really encounter this fallacy all that often.
The thing is I do. The reason I do is because Christians, the religious, they want to argue that slavery isn't slavery in the Bible. So they often it's not slavery, it's indentured servitude.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't care if you call it the super duper
Now that I
happy.
think of that, in a recent debate, I have encountered that. But beyond slavery, like, I don't really, you don't encounter
the
it.
mechanism is that they are admitting of something and they're trying to show you a distinction.
Yeah.
And that is a rarer form of discourse than pure insults, than non sequiturs.
Yeah.
So I think you are right to point out that it comes up a bit rarer, let's say.
Yeah.
It doesn't come up as often as other fallacies. But it is a powerful fallacy when it takes place, and the entire discourse revolves around definitions then and how you distinguish one from the other. It can get very tedious.
Yeah, I feel it's a very annoying one to come against as well.
Oh yeah.
Like you can be in the middle of like an incredible segment where you're talking about something that completely falsifies what they're trying to say, and you could be, I didn't say this, I said this, and you go, what difference does this make? You've just distracted from my flow and what I've just said to you, just to pull up a difference. That, it adds nothing.
I'll tell you what is a really good distinction without a difference. Dribble from god-tier nonsense.
Cheers, dude.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I think I actually would put this above ad hominem on god tier nonsense.
Go on then, stick
and
it in.
I think we should move down ad hominem as well.
All right, do it. You are the god tier lister right now.
Shut up. Next, we have moving the goalposts.
Oh my word.
Moving the goalposts is a incredibly annoying fallacy to go against, just like the last, in the sense that you could say...
An example would be, tell me, you know what, evolution is true if you can show that there is a transitional form between Homo sapien and chimpanzee, but you can't.
Yeah, but when I do...
Yeah, that doesn't count. Actually, what I want is a transitional form between Homo habilis and Homo heidelbergensis. And if you can't do that...
Here you go.
Oh, what I mean is that you need to find something between Tiktaalik and Archaeopteryx. Like, it's getting dumb now. But that's what they're doing. They're moving the goalpost. You meet the criterion, and then they go, nah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Don't count now.
I think the actual idea, the formal idea of moving actual goalposts works so perfectly with it as well.
Yep.
You're just picking up the goal and moving it.
I know.
And it works incredibly well, and that's why they get their names.
And as my friend Alex O'Connor has put it, so many of them move the goalpost and then miss anyway.
Yeah.
Like, what's this? What are you doing?
So I think moving the goalposts is another incredibly annoying one to go against, as stated earlier.
Very common. Very, very common.
And extremely common, extremely rhetorical.
Yep.
You don't normally get moving the goalposts on accident. This is usually one that will literally just come up when someone has just blundered.
It's a little difficult, right? Because I don't think most people actually know when they are refusing to be humbled. What happens is they get caught out and they just change the goalpost. I've seen parents do it with kids all the time.
They just call it cognitive dissonance.
Well, I'd argue it's slightly different, but maybe it's a variation, a subset, right? But yeah, it is a very, very common thing. It's quite rare that someone, especially under pressure, especially against a stranger, especially in a debate format, is going to concede a point and go, okay, you've given me something to consider here. Yeah. Most of the time, they're going to change the criterion because that's what they do. They are into rhetoric. They're arguing for their view. That's their
it's
job.
incredibly difficult to admit you're wrong in a debate, especially when it's televised.
No, it's not. I'm not admitting it. All right, fine, I admit it. It's easy to, it's not easy to admit that you're wrong.
I generally think moving a goalpost could be dribble.
I think that we should move the goalpost into each of the rows whenever we want because it's moving the goalpost. It could do what it wants. It can move wherever it wants. Put it in dribble.
I'm gonna take control of this video. I'm doing it by myself.
Yes.
Welcome, Plant and Donald Dump. We're doing it with Donald Dump now.
Donald Dump will join you for the next one then.
Let's go and dribble. So, Donald Dump, what do you think of cherry picking?
I want to do an impression of him, but I can't. I just can't. I can't do it. Right, so cherry picking.
Cherry picking occurs when someone selects only logic and evidence that backs up their claim while ignoring evidence contrary to their claim.
Yes.
So, a good example of this would be Dennis Prager and the Daily Wire. Just watch a single... I might actually do you the great service of linking a video to that, even though most of you people are probably coming from his video, so I'll just send you back to his videos.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, but you point it out extremely well. You go to the actual sources of where he's got these sources, and you show how his own sources point against him, and it's a Trojan source, as you call it. It's incredible.
Just to put some flesh on those bones, with Dennis Prager, for instance, he will be referencing religious people are happier than non-religious people. One, that who gives a crap? That's an argument from consequences, right? That doesn't make something true.
Yeah,
it's a pragmatic argument. But even if that's if it were true, but it's not true. And what happens is he references content and studies, specific studies that are conducted in highly religious communities.
Yes.
And it's like, yeah, if you're not religious in a highly religious community, you're probably ostracized.
Yeah.
But if you compare it to, say, Scandinavian happiness, where religiosity is very low, if you compare it to Wales, where religiosity is very low, you just don't get the same data. So he's cherry picking what he wants to fit his broader narrative, which he's going to apply to everybody. Another example that they do, just while it's coming to mind, is there's this big push for women were happier in the 1950s before all of the feminism, the latter waves, etc. And what they do is they quote typically rural American states.
Yeah.
What they don't do is quote England to look at the suicidality of England, because it doesn't bear out the information that they want. So they select the data that they want and then pretend that is the data that applies everywhere, which is another fallacy, but still they're picking out the cherry picking what they want.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Oh, one more. If you ever met a Christian and you want to read anything in the Bible that's problematic, they just go, yeah, but just love your neighbour. Ultimate cherry picking. Love your neighbour.
Yeah.
Done.
Welcome to Earth. Where do you want to put cherry picking then?
Cherry picking is...
I think... I was saying it about the others, but I don't think there's a fallacy that appears more to, okay, I'm going to do this on purpose.
Yeah.
I don't care about the debate.
That is exactly what I was thinking.
There is nothing quite like it, like cherry picking.
And there's also those that use cherry picking, they can get corrected or reprimanded, and they still push the same arguments. This is very common in apologetics. I would say cherry picking is one of my least favorite fallacies, because the people that do it tend to be very distasteful. They have no intellectual honor.
It's either that, or you just suffer with an incredible amount of cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
So for that, I think it's the top of God tier nonsense.
Yeah, go on. I agree with you. Cherry picking is nonsense.
Right, an appeal to authority.
Authority!
Hey, I'm a cop, and you will respect my authority!
An appeal to authority is, I feel it's more of it's made by amateurs, this kind of mistake. It's not a fallacy that tends to come around when you get into higher level apologetics.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, I don't think you're going to see William Lane Craig, which may be one of the best the apologetics have, which is incredible to say, but William Lane Craig, he's not going to quote some a good apologist, a decent apologist, in like maybe Gary Habermas or Habermas, I'm not sure how it's said. He's not going to go to Gary Habermas. He's not going to say he believes this, and oh, you know who else believes it? Ben Shapiro, and so I believe it. Even no person at the higher level quotes authorities.
I have to disagree with you.
Really?
Yeah, I do. William Lane Craig, for example, does it regularly. And what I mean by this is that he will, first of all, if he's quoting, say, Gary Habermas on, say, historicity, it's a false authority. It's not even a real authority, right? And he does that regularly. Like he'll quote Paul Copan on apologetic slavery. And it's like, dude, Paul is laughed at by people because he obviously cannot read Hebrew. He doesn't know any of it. You look at real scholars like Joshua Bowen, Kip Davis. It's just abysmal, right?
Yeah.
But then what happens is he will actually refer to authorities that have minority views to support him, right? So William Lane Craig will say he will invoke the Board Goof for Lincoln theory in order to say we know that the universe couldn't have had a beginning.
So there's a second fallacy in play here with cherry picking as well, I'd say.
Yeah, there's an element of cherry picking. Absolutely. You cherry pick the scholars that you want, right? You could cherry pick the authorities that you reference.
Yeah.
William Lane Craig that's probably one of the most common things he does. He goes for very specific authorities who are authorities in their field, who have minority views that he makes out on majority views. And even when it comes to the situation with the Board Goof for Lincoln theory, and forgive me, I know that I'm going on quite a lot, even in that case, the authors don't agree with him. But he's still appealing to them, right? So, yeah, I would say appeal to authority, it really is across the board. You'll be surprised. And if you don't believe that, ask my dentist.
I think it is, at least in the lower levels of where I debate off camera.
Yeah, I think so.
It's an incredibly common fallacy.
It is. I do want to add a few more things to it, actually, and that is that quite often an appeal to an authority is good.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is it's corroborative, right? You can add to your argument.
Yeah.
Suppose that you go, here is an argument, here's how the mathematics works, and then you reference a mathematician.
Yeah.
That is a legit thing. You're showing that the status quo, or that those that are at the top of the field, they agree with you. It's corroborative evidence.
I
it's
suppose...
when you reference it, but don't reference something else.
Yeah.
It's like, well, my dentist says that I should floss. Okay, well, what's the argument? Well, my dentist says it. That doesn't do it. That is just an appeal to authority.
Yeah, the distinction, it comes when you don't add any evidence along with it, and you just say, well, Gordon Ramsay, it says this is the best dish, so it's the best dish.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Given that, it's either top of drivel or bottom of god tier nonsense, I think. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think so. I could also see it. You know what? I really could see it going down as far as typical debate blunder, but...
Really?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I suppose it depends on how the person's using it. So my metric is... you can't really rank fallacies, but my metric is not
Actually, you can, because Austin created this list, and he is the authority of this list, so thank you very much. Done.
Stop making ironic dad jokes.
It's not dad jokes, it's a meta joke.
They're not meta jokes. They make me cringe and cry.
Yeah, everything I do makes you cringe and cry. You're welcome.
I'm going to be editing this, and I'm going to be like cringing into my chest.
Nah, you're going to be editing it and going, you know what? That was 4 levels deep. Now I get it.
I'm going to be editing this. I'm going to be like, oh, I should have done this with Donald Dump. Why did I invite Steve? So, I think appeal to authority. If you want it lower,
no,
I can. I'm happy to put it top of bin court. If you agree with top of bin court.
No, I actually think put it away. Be bold.
Be bold.
You're the authority.
You are bold. I shouldn't have done that. I'll get copyrighted now.
Nah.
My tiny little channel's gonna
Nah,
get
believe me, you can't sing anywhere near enough for the algorithm to pick it up. You got other talents, brother.
Okay. Red herring. This is a really weird fallacy in the sense that a lot of people commit a red herring, like, only slightly, and by doing it, they like, I think I'm guilty of this in some sense sometimes. And maybe not as much recently, but at least before, I just make an accidental red herring thinking, yeah, this kind of corroborates what I'm saying. It kind of makes sense, but no, it is distracting from the point, and it's not the actual it's not an actual thing that adds to the point that I'm making or disagrees with what the other person is saying. It's just something completely different.
Which, of course, is what it is, right? The red herring is a distraction. That's what it is. It's a red fish. It's like, whoa, look at that. What's going on?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a pure distraction. So, what was the example you gave me of Trump earlier?
Oh, yeah. So Trump gets asked about the Epstein files, and he goes, man, people still talking about Epstein. Have you heard about the floods in that's going on over right now? Like, damn.
That's amazing, right? Straight up, there's your fallacy.
Like, Darth Vader wouldn't approve.
No, he would not.
And I will say this, that we have Darth Vader. You know Darth Vader, right?
Exactly. But lots of the time, the fallacy is adjacent. So it looks like it's relevant, but it's actually not. And that's the thing to watch out for. See if I can come up with an example, maybe with Trump again. So if Trump was talking about the Epstein files,
Yeah.
and then he was to talk about the trial on Diddy,
Yeah.
that might, it's a red herring, it's irrelevant to the Epstein files, but because they both involve horrible people doing horrible things, it looks like it's within the same vicinity.
A nice way to put this, another thing, with the Epstein files, there's a lot of red herrings going on.
Oh, yeah.
Is that people trying to defend it will talk about how, like, Bill Clinton might be in it. And it's like,
Yeah.
Bill Clinton can go to jail. I don't care about Bill Clinton. I want justice.
Yeah.
For everyone that was involved. I don't care whether
No, I agree.
whether Trump, Bill Clinton, or even you were in it. I don't doubt you'd be in it, but I'd want. Wait, what? No, I doubt you'd be in it. I don't. Okay, but whoever was in it, I want justice.
Yes.
That's what I want. You deploying a red herring by saying Bill Clinton was in it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any bloody sense.
No, and I actually think it's a really good example because it's going to be, hey, release the Epstein files. You know what? I think that if Bill Clinton was in the Epstein files, he should be caught. Yeah, that's a red herring. Release the Epstein files. That's what we want. Anyway, just for the record, Austin, I'm not in them. I would have been 3 or something. So,
So red herring, I generally think it should go in typical debate blunder.
oh, it's very typical. Very typical.
Actually, no, because when the way that it works, it can be incredibly annoying for when it's done so obviously, like Trump with the Epstein files.
I think it's been caught. You look at it and you go, I caught you. That's a red herring.
Above or below non sequitur?
I think above.
All right.
Yep, I think above.
A bandwagon fallacy. It's got another name. It's pill to popularity.
Appeal to popularity, yeah.
It makes sense in some degree to where the majority believes it's likely right in some sense. But if there's evidence pointing to the contrary, you can't say, well, the majority of people believe it.
Yeah, you could argue that the population believing something is a very small epistemological grain of sand in your favour. I wouldn't say it's particularly heavy.
Right.
Some would disagree with me, right? But I don't think it's particularly heavy. But when you're trying to figure out why something is the case or why something's justified, appealing to popularity is it's just odd, man. It's like, let's give an example. You got one?
So an example would be, grey shoes are horrible. Yeah, but most people love grey shoes.
That's it. Done. That's a dictation of
a bandwagon fallacy. It's like it's just I really You know what I do like about it?
Yeah.
It's extremely easy to catch someone. You don't have to dig that deep into your brain to find out someone's using a bandwagon fallacy.
See if someone is bandwagoning, yeah. You can. It's quite an easy one to be able to spot. Okay, so you're not giving me evidence. You're not giving me hard data. You're not giving me logic. What you're giving me is an appeal to the fact that lots of people believe or affirm it.
Yeah.
And that in itself is, no, that's not going to cut it. That's just an appeal to popularity. At least with your shoe example, you're looking at a preference of what people think.
Yeah.
But often it's not about preference. It's actually about metaphysical claims about the universe.
Yeah.
You know?
So if I refine my example then, I'd say, well, most people in the world believe in some sort of deity.
Yeah.
Well, that's not evidence for a deity.
No, it's not. Some people would argue it's evidence. I don't want to get pedantic. You get into like an epistemological thing, right?
Yeah.
But you're absolutely correct, because you could say today, how do we know that the Earth is a sphere? Well, everyone I know believes that it's a sphere. I don't care, right? That doesn't tell me anything, right? Why is it that it's a sphere? You can't appeal to population. If you did that 2,000, more like 3,000 years ago, they would tell you it's flat.
But Steve, the Earth is a square. Everyone knows this.
Yeah, good argument. How do you know it?
Because you're stupid.
Oh, I thought you were going to appeal to population. What's going on?
No, I thought we'd bring back the
ad hominem. Yeah, there you go.
I think the bandwagon fallacy should go at the top of bin court. The reason why I think it's in bin court is because it's not overly annoying when you catch someone. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just a simple explanation just to say, yeah, here's what you're wrong.
All right.
And for that reason alone, I'd just say it's the top of bin court and not any higher. No true Scotsman.
Oh boy.
Do you want to start us off with this one this time?
No true Scotsman occurs when someone is essentially gatekeeping what falls into the purview of a definition.
Yeah.
So, with Christians, they do it all the time. They will say, Christians, you know, they don't, they affirm the Trinity. And then you go, well, what about these people? They don't affirm the Trinity. They believe Jesus died for their sins, like they're Christians. And they go, no, they're not real Christians.
See, I think what's more popular, the most popular form of this is not that. And it's, you'll say, so they will say, well, did you believe in God? Yeah, I believed in God. I devoted my life to him for 20 years. I was about to be a pastor. Not me myself, but say Thomas.
No.
Devoted a lot of years of his life to it. Mm-hmm. Was training to become a pastor, and then came across logic and reasoning and decided that Christianity isn't the answer.
Well, obviously you weren't a true Christian then. Otherwise you wouldn't have left the faith.
My worldview has completely changed.
There you go. That is probably the most common no true Scotsman.
I think what it is, it's a cry out to, my entire worldview depends on the fact that you was wrong.
Yeah.
That when you were a Christian and you found your logic, you weren't taking the faith seriously.
Yeah.
My entire worldview rests on this assumption, so it's true. It has to be true for my worldview to stay intact.
And it's a really weird one, right? So take another proposition that's not as loaded, whether or not there are aliens. What I mean by that is, does extraterrestrial life exist? I say yes, almost certainly. You meet someone else and they may say no. And you just go, okay, you know, we both studied it and that's what you've come to. Fair enough, I can understand why you don't think there is, let's say, intelligent life, whereas I think almost certainly there is, right? Have this situation done. But to someone that believes in hell and believes that everybody that goes to hell absolutely deserves it, they have to find a way to compartmentalize it, to make it so it's justified under their worldview. And that means they have to deny the idea that you earnestly, respectfully, and decently have come to the conclusion, sorry, Christianity's bullshit.
So I think there's a second fallacy at play here.
Yeah, go on.
Post hoc reasoning.
Okay, so talk to me about it.
Post hoc reasoning is essentially already having your answer there and then saying, well, all of this evidence points to it, so it's true. But that's not that's not what you're doing. You already believe something, and you're just trying to find evidence for it.
Yeah, and to be clear, this is the post hoc, not fallacy, but post hoc reasoning, right?
Yeah.
This is just very much about, you look at something and after the fact, you start trying to figure out how to justify it. And you're right, it goes hand in hand with the No True Scotsman, absolutely. Yeah. Whereas the post hoc fallacy is the post hoc ergo proc.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah. No, we won't.
Oh, fair enough.
So, No True Scotsman, it's an incredibly annoying fallacy to come across, and I generally think it goes between false distinction and appeal to authority and god tier nonsense.
Go on then. This once.
Alright. Next fallacy we have is burden of proof, specifically shifting the burden of proof.
Mm-hmm.
The burden of proof is shown in Russell's teapot, which is I think the analogy he gave is there's an invisible, undetectable teapot floating, orbiting the sun somewhere between Earth and Mars, and he says that you have to prove it, but the burden of proof is on him to initially give evidence for that invisible teapot orbiting the sun, not for the person to disprove that. And it's an incredible, it's a game changer in debate, honestly.
Yeah,
it's an incredible tactic to use on someone.
It's a wonderful thing to emphasize on shifting the burden of proof, because it does happen all the damn time, and normally implicit, because someone will say, you don't believe in God? Oh, well, how do you make sense of the fact that consciousness exists? Yeah, okay, I'm going to need a coherent story, or the best story I can give you on why consciousness exists. But my failure to do so in no way means that you managed to achieve it yourself.
Exactly.
When you tell me a story of why you think it's coming about, you need to have a coherent story. That's where your burden is. You don't get to just shift it onto me. Other instances, it comes down to you have to prove me wrong rather than I have to prove it right. So go back to the suicide examples with women in the 1950s. They come out here and they give their arguments and they go, well, you got to prove it wrong. Well, no, you have to prove your point right, and you can't do that with your cherry-picked data. You've got to go further with it, right? But they won't do that. They want the burden of proof on you now to be able to argue against them.
It's an incredibly annoying fallacy, and I know I've said that so many times in this video, but
Fallacies
so many
are
fallacies are incredibly annoying to come across.
Imagine if you'd done the list according to annoyance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is a factor in here.
Largely.
But burden of proof, I generally think top of dribble.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Maybe, I think ad hominem may be above it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm happy with that. If we're doing it on annoyance, ad hominem has to be at the top.
Oh, God.
Next, we have equivocation. Do you want to explain this one?
Sure thing. So an equivocation fallacy occurs when one word or term that can have a multiplicity of definitions is used interchangeably. So to give you an example, you could say...
Theory in science.
Theory in science is an excellent example, right? So someone will say, we have a quantum theory or, a gravitational theory on the positioning of the celestial bodies. And what that means is they're basing this on laws, they're basing this on observed data, and the theory is predicting things successfully. It's a major accomplishment in science. If something is a theory, my word, has that done well, right?
I think the best one to bring up here is the evolutionary theory.
Yep.
Creationists love to bring this up.
Yep, let's do that.
They'll say the evolutionary theory. See, it's just a theory. It could be proven wrong. And even that, it's like, we've never claimed that evolution is 100% the truth. It could be proven wrong. It's possible
that is the nature of theories.
Yeah, it is possible that it is wrong. But theory in science means it's almost certainly the correct thing to be thinking.
Once it gets to theory, it's pretty damn good, because before then it's going to be in the hypothetical stage as a hypothesis, and then it's going to move forward. Whereas theory in the general sense just means I got a hunch.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what they mean. It's just like, it's a creationist theory. It's not a theory. It's a preconceived,
One
view.
that I
Whereas-
said that really annoyed Reese was the flat Earth theory.
Yeah. See, I think flat Earth is a theory.
Shut up! It's a square Earth, Steve.
Square Earth is a theory. Because, essentially, if you had the hypothesis that the Earth is flat, what can you predict? I can predict that I could just walk basically forever until I hit the edge of, the Earth, or until I just can't walk anymore because I can't walk across that entire plane. What happens when you walk? It feels flat to you. You experience it as flat. That is data that fits a flat Earth model. Kind of. It also fits a spherical model. But,
Right.
You get the point.
Yeah.
Whereas the creationist model has nothing. The creationist model is like, you know what? If humans are the pinnacle of God's design, application to wise, right? Creationists will go, we're made in God's image. The theory may predict that we're going to be the most incredible of all of the creatures. Because we're humans and they're animals. Turns out that's not the case. Humans are animals. Our eyes, completely beaten by mollusks. For one, they don't see upside down and have to revert it in their head. Also, how well we can see. Turns out birds have got us on that. Eagles are really, really good. Well done. Okay, we've got a nice heart. Octopus has 3. The point is that we're just not built in the way that creationism predicts at all. They have to post hoc it a lot with post hoc reasoning, whereas evolution predicts it, completely predicts it.
I say the one thing that we're better than, the 2 things we're better than all other species at is stamina and
Fallacies.
fallacies and intelligence. Those are the only 2 things we have on other creatures.
Yeah,
It doesn't make us the perfect breed. We're not the. If God is perfect.
Did you say stamina?
Yeah.
In what way?
We have you not seen the stories? We literally used to like chase mammoths all day until they just gave up and accepted their death. I don't think there's another creature with more stamina.
Yeah, I think there is.
I've searched this up. I generally don't think there
You don't
is.
think so? No, there's some stamina-based creatures, man. Should we do a little research?
Let's do some research. You know what? Chat, say hello to the mic.
Hello, Mike. It's great to be here and chat with you. I hope you're having a fantastic day.
Okay, so you need to fact check for us. We need to know whether humans have the most stamina out of any creatures. I believe that they are. Steve believes that there are creatures out there with better stamina than humans.
That's a fun comparison. Humans are actually known for their remarkable endurance, especially when it comes to long-distance running. Our ability to sweat and regulate body temperature over long periods does give us an edge in endurance compared to many animals. However, there are other creatures that can outlast humans in certain contexts. For example, some migratory birds and certain endurance animals.
Okay, you got me.
No, Austin, have you learned nothing, brother?
What?
Cherry pick the first part.
Oh, yeah.
Call me an idiot. Right? That's your ad hominem.
And then most people believe this.
Done. Appeal to
Bandwagon.
authority. He appealed to Chat GPT, everybody.
Yeah, and if you don't believe me, you're not a true human.
That's it.
This now means that I'm the coolest guy on earth for a non sequitur.
Yep.
There's a bird flying across the sky for a red herring.
Where's it go on the list?
I win.
Yeah, well done. You've done it.
Equivocation. It's incredibly annoying. And along with that, it is nonsense.
Yep.
Equivocation is generally done by creationists.
I will just say the worst one is there are laws in nature, so there is a lawgiver. Oh my word. What a great equivocation gods is this bullshit. Yeah. All right. I honestly, this one does my head in.
Is it the top for you? I think cherry picking's worse.
I think it's god tier nonsense, personally. I think it's so stupid.
I generally I think cherry picking goes at the top end.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to argue against that.
This goes below cherry picking. It's worse than all the others.
Agreed.
Let's go. Next, we have an appeal to nature. This is mainly done in abortion claims, really.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just, oh, well, abortions don't happen in nature. If it, like, you just have to deal with it in nature. And it's like, yeah, but you know what else is in nature?
Yeah.
The bugs eating your eyes out.
Yeah, not
Do you know
fun.
what else is in nature? Like cataracts that you're just going to keep.
Asteriasis.
I don't know why I thought of cataracts. That's a really weird thing to bring up.
But you're right. Like, normally the person that's lecturing you on about what is natural and what is good is wearing glasses.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, don't wear glasses then. Why are you wearing clothes, you absolute goon?
Goon?
Yeah.
Okay, most of Steve's audience is older.
Okay,
I'm going to put on the Gen Z definition of goon.
Well, they're gooning over God.
But yeah, I think appeal to nature is a generally really, really annoying one. I used to think like-minded to appeal to nature in that evolution's gone on for so many years. What it has correct must be right, and it's just not. It's just not correct.
Yeah.
But I think an appeal to nature is just absolute dribble.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anyone with at least college grade education is going to be using it.
But it is really common, right? So I'll tell you a place where it comes up all the time. If you want to see an intelligent person be stupid, bring up veganism. I say that as a non-vegan, the appeals to nature become ridiculous. Hey, we've got these canine teeth, so we should eat meat. Like, come on, man. Like, that's not a good argument. I get it, right?
But appeal to nature, it is dribble. I think it's above ad hominem for me.
Yep. I'd say it's awful. I'd say it's got to be in the God tier.
Really?
I would say so. Appeal to nature comes up a lot.
All right. How far into God tier?
Maybe just under appeal to authority.
All right. I'm happy with that. Next, we have appeal to emotion. This encompasses a broad range of a bunch of other informal fallacies and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It's great just to put them into one, which is appeal to emotion. An appeal to emotion essentially says, yeah, but if things are that way, then it's really sad. Life can't be cool if atheism is true, because there's no big cool sky daddy.
Pretty much.
That's
so
generally
just an appeal to emotion, you know.
And you can do it.
Oh, there needs to be justice. Why? You're appealing to the fact that I want justice.
And
it's emotion.
It refers in the other way as well, in the sense that, well, if Christianity is true, then it's really happy. That in the same way, that's an appeal to emotion.
Yeah, and a lot of it does happen in religion, whereas in most other domains of discourse, pretty much everyone recognizes it as a very serious flaw.
Yeah.
But with religion, for some reason, there's a permission that's granted.
Yeah.
Where appeals to emotion is like, okay, fair enough.
I think it overlaps with appeal to consequence as well. Mm-hmm. Like a lot. I think it is.
No, it does a hell of a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a sub. It might actually be a sub fallacy of appeal to consequence, though. I think it's enough to merit its own distinction from it.
They are different. I would say it's the other way around. I'd say that an appeal to consequences. It doesn't have to be emotional. They're separate.
Yeah,
they're separate, but they're close. They're in close proximity.
They're very close.
Yeah,
but. An appeal to emotion, people do recognise it. It is wrong. But then again, it's so easy to correct that I don't mind coming across it. It's not, it's still, if you're using it, you're just a knob. There's no, for lack of better words, you're just a knob.
I am going to be really upset if you don't put it in typical debate blunder.
Really?
Oh, I'm going to be devastated. You don't want to make me devastated, do you?
Wow.
You don't want to make me upset.
We're going to put it in below moving the goalpost, I think. You happy with that?
It has to go in typical debate blunder. Why would he not put it in typical debate blunder? Oh my word. All right, the appeal to emotion isn't working. Moving on.
Begging the question. This is a very common fallacy. It might actually be the most common fallacy, I think.
With people that are
It actually, at least in the videos I do, which are all on Christianity, it is the most common fallacy within Christianity.
Okay.
I think so, at least.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to think of a meta way to beg the question by begging the question, but I'll put that aside. Begging the question is very common, especially among people who don't debate.
Yeah.
It becomes, an example would be, because for everyone watching, the definition is when the conclusion is baked into the premises. So if you accept the premises, you naturally, by definition, are going to be accepting the conclusion.
I think the biggest example of begging the question is it usually comes up in a Gish Gallop when someone says, yeah, but Jesus was resurrected by God. Well, sure, if I actually believe that Jesus was resurrected by God, then that's an amazing argument.
It's an amazing
but
one.
you have to accept the premise of the Bible for Jesus to be resurrected by God to actually be an argument.
Yeah.
And it's just reasoning in a circle is just ridiculously repetitive, annoying, and it's generally one of the most annoying fallacies to go across, one of the most common fallacies to go across, and I just hate it.
No, I do agree with you. I will just give the one that really does my head in. It's that the Bible is inspired / written by God. And you go, how do you know? It says so in the Bible.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I mean, to be honest with you, when people reason this way, they don't know anything about how the Bible was accumulated. They don't know that it's several books. They don't know that there's an Old Testament and a New Testament and how those two interact and the intersection that's involved. In fact, they'd hear the word intersection and go, woke. They don't know anything about any of this data.
When you say it so plainly, you can just hear it in the structure of the sentence. That it's a fallacy. When someone says something is something because of something, like God made the Bible because the Bible was made by God.
Yes.
You can hear in the structure of that sentence, this is a fallacy.
You can, yeah. On that front, I would say that the reason that we should put this in the dribble is because it is in the dribble.
I generally think it's God tier nonsense, the worst one.
No, but I just begged the question, so it has to be in dribble.
But I just think it should be God tier nonsense because God tier nonsense.
Why do you think it should be in good? Why?
Because God tier nonsense is saying that begging the question should be in there. So because God tier nonsense is saying that means that begging the question should go in God tier nonsense.
I would argue against it, but actually it's a foregone conclusion, so done.
What do you think, Donald Dump?
He actually agrees with me.
The God tier nonsense cult says that he believes that it's God tier nonsense, so we're just going to put it at the top of God tier nonsense, so
done.
Shut up. Okay, so the next fallacy we have, tu quoque.
Ooh.
I feel like in the Latin saying of it, which it obviously means you too in Latin, you can just tell by the Latin pronunciation of it, the kind of thing that you're getting.
You too, tu quo, yeah.
But obviously not initially. But when you understand what it actually means, which is you too, you can see in the pronunciation of tu quoque, it sounds exactly like it, really.
Yep. And so, what would you say the definition is?
What
of the fallacy?
The definition of tu quoque is it's an appeal to hypocrisy formally, and it's just saying, well, yeah, I did that. I say, for example, I gave my dog a bad haircut, but so did you, so it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. But it's like, sure, but that doesn't take the blame off of you for doing anything.
Yep.
Sure, like the other person did it. That's something worth pointing out. but it doesn't.
It's not justification for your action,
it's
right?
not justification for what you're doing.
A common one that comes up is an elderly person telling a young person you shouldn't smoke. And then the young person might say, yeah, but you smoked when you were younger, or you still smoke now. That doesn't deteriorate in any possible way what they're getting at. It doesn't.
Yeah.
But that's a tu quoque quo, and it's very common.
Tu quoque quo is it? I actually don't hate this fallacy. And if you're saying typical debate blunder, it is extremely common in everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
If you're just having an argument with someone, it is extremely popular. But in in actual proper debates, formal debates, it is relatively common. It not in the higher levels. I don't think it's extremely popular. I don't have much experience like you, but I want to say it's not extremely popular.
I think you're right. Yeah. I think tu quoque quo is recognised as a failure to actually deal with a criticism.
Yeah.
It does come up. Philosophers, ironically, will do it. So if there's a criticism that's made, say, to an epistemologist saying you can't ground this view, they may come back and go, neither can you.
Sometimes,
and that's a legit point to raise in philosophy because neither of them have a foundation.
I had it literally yesterday. I was speaking to you. And I don't imagine you'll remember, but I said the idea of having things happened in the past, therefore they'll happen in the future, is begging the question. But when you add God into the actual equation, it doesn't remove the begging the question. So the tu quoque quo, it doesn't. You can use it there, and it can be. It can work because you're saying mine still works, but then you add in Occam's razor and say, well, mine works without a God.
So to relay that back to you so I can see if I'm understanding you right, you're saying that a theist might say to an atheist, why is there something rather than nothing? What's your answer? And then you may say, you don't have an answer either. And then they might say, no, I do. I have an answer. My answer is that there is something because God wanted it to be. But then you'd pressure them and actually they don't have a reason. Why is there some God rather than no God?
What I'm trying to get at is it's I forgot the actual name for the argument, but the argument is about how do you know things will happen in the future. So, and you say because things in the past have happened a certain way, I can infer from that it will happen in the future.
Yeah, David Hume's pointed this out. Yeah,
yeah, and
it's known as the problem of induction.
Yeah, that's what it's called. But the God just pushes it back. It still involves begging the question.
Yeah, both are begging the question. Yeah, you're right. Both of them don't have sufficient grounding. And I should just say that I know that the example that I gave goes into necessary beings, but then you ask, why are there some necessary beings rather than no necessary beings? And you fall into the same situation. Anyway, where does it go?
I think tu quoque quo, I actually don't mind this. I don't think it's complete dribble. I want to put typical debate blunder or being caught. I don't mind a tu quoque quo that much because most of the time when it's actually used, it's at least in philosophy, it makes sense.
A lot of philosophers use it fair, yeah. But I reckon typical debate blunder. Let's get it in there.
All right. Next, we have a false dichotomy. When I said that begging the question is the most common fallacy, I still hold by it.
Okay.
But false dichotomy, it's a runner-up. I think there's others in the equation as well. It might not be second, but it is another one of the very, very popular fallacies.
So to make sure that we're all on board, a false dichotomy is otherwise known as a black and white fallacy, and it's when someone presents two possible outcomes, that's it, when more may exist. They haven't justified the framework.
Yeah.
So what would be an example?
Pascal's wager. He gives the false dichotomy of it's either atheism, which there's no God, or the Christian God.
Yeah.
When in reality, there's a very large spectrum of gods.
Yes.
You've got the Greek mythology, the Norse mythology, the Mayan mythology, the the Egyptian mythology, just to name mythologies. And you've got Islam, Hinduism, I could go on for hours.
Yeah, you've got all of these variations of mythology, and then even within the Christian mythos, what does it mean to say the Christian God? Every person that you meet that's a Christian has a different God.
Yeah.
Right? One of them has one that affirms hell. That's a very different God to one that doesn't. One of them, affirms, say, the Trinity. That is a very different God compared to the next Christian. The idea, So yeah, good point. It's raised as a simple binary when it isn't.
And false dichotomy is a very annoying fallacy to go against
Comes
as well.
up all the time.
And I generally think I put it between equivocation and cherry picking in god tier nonsense.
So where specifically?
In god tier nonsense, between equivocation and cherry picking, so third worst.
You're thinking, oh, interesting, because it's that common. Stick it in there for now. We'll argue it out if I disagree later. I think it either belongs right at the top of god tier nonsense or right at the bottom of reaching hard.
Really?
Oh yeah, there's no nuance. You can't go anywhere. It's either black or
It's
white.
not reaching hard. A false dichotomy is a fallacy.
Yeah, it's either black or white, man. It's one option or the other. I'm not.
Stop doing this. It's really annoying me. I keep actually taking on what he's saying and not realising he's being sarcastic. Shut up.
Yeah, what can I say? I've had the nickname Sarcastic Steve for a reason.
No, you don't. I've never heard anyone call you Sarcastic Steve.
You don't hang out with my mates?
Well,
you kind of do, actually. He does hang out with quite a few of them now.
No one calls him Sarcastic Steve. Please don't listen to a word this man says.
Brotherly love. All right, so next up, looking over there, we've got false analogy. False analogy comes up a lot, particularly among creationists.
Yeah.
And it occurs when someone draws an analogy between two things when actually in the areas that are important, they don't have sufficient comparison, right? All right, so to give you an example of a false analogy, you could say that if someone was to say employees are like nails, you have to hit nails in, so you have to hit employees. It's a false analogy. It doesn't work because that's not how you get employees to work, right? Or do their job. You don't hit them over the head with a hammer. That's not going to work.
A false analogy is just it's false.
Yeah.
To say the least, it's just these kind of fallacies are the ones that just grind my gears. I think it's a nice way to say it. It's incredibly annoying to come against, and I just don't like these kind of fallacies.
No, I get it. You're appealing to emotion, and there's some incredulity. No, it's false analogies come up a lot, and that is just it's also a mechanism for your opposition to strawman your argument.
Yeah.
Right. So that happens a lot. For instance, you could argue that we should have more regulations on guns. Say that you're in the United States, and someone would go, "Yeah, well, guns don't kill people. Cars kill people. What, should we ban cars?" It's like that's not a fair analogy.
That's a perfect analogy what you've got there
for those. Exactly. So. Yeah. That's where the analogy.
I don't mean the analogy is sound. I mean like the analogy for a false analogy is amazing.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, I think for false analogy, it's bottom of dribble, below appeal to motion.
They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Yeah, I reckon that's fair. I mean, false analogy comes up a lot. So
see, he's just ignored that completely. I'm completely. I'm not proud of myself for what I've just tried to do there. Jesus Christ. Well, I don't even deserve to get that edited out. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Yeah, it's below a
pure dribble. Where we put the fallacy, I don't know. But,
yesterday I accidentally called Drew from Genetically Modified Skeptic Genetically Modified Spastic. So, you're not going to see this, but sorry, Drew.
just unbecoming, my friend. Right.
Yeah, but I think false analogy goes below appeal to emotion.
Yeah, go on.
Next is your favourite fallacy,
Okay.
the Mott and Bailey.
Oh,
Spelt wrong, but yeah.
Okay, if you can spell it, okay,
There's
all right.
one E and not two.
All right. Mott and Bailey comes from the old castles in England and Europe, the rest of Europe, I should say. And
We're talking about the fallacy, not the...
I know, but the Mott and Bailey, man, you got to explain the Mott and Bailey.
Oh, yeah,
If I've got an opportunity to talk about castles, I'm gonna talk about castles.
Okay, Reese.
Right. Cheers. So, when it comes to castles, especially specifically the Mott and Bailey castles, you would have the Mott and you would have the Bailey, one of which is weak, but it's where everyone lives, and one of which is strong. And what happens is, as soon as they get attacked on the gate, they retreat into the smaller but easier to defend position. And in debates, this happens a lot. An example that I had in one of my videos from Candace Owens is she goes on Jubilee and she goes, listen, we don't live under a patriarchy. We live under a matriarchy. Men are the ones that are being completely destroyed.
But we don't live under a matriarchy. Do you know what a matriarchy is?
Oh, well, all I'm saying is that women have influence in society.
Yeah, but that's not a matriarchy.
Yeah, well, that was my claim.
Yeah.
You see, the original claim was this bold, I'm inviting you, come fight.
Yeah.
But as soon as there's pressure applied, retreat to the easier to defend position.
Exactly, and it kind of has a little similarity with moving the goalposts, in which it's just you make a claim and then you retreat into some kind of semantic fog.
Yeah.
When you're using a Mott and Bailey, you're using it. It's a bit like cherry picking. It's one of those fallacies where you're doing it, you're doing it.
I think that's largely the case. And unfortunately, it's very common among the higher echelons of debate. It just is.
Really?
Yeah, Jordan Peterson does it all
Jordan Peterson is not the higher echelon of debates.
Well, unfortunately, I don't get to decide who conservatives think is an intelligent person.
Jesus,
that's what happens. There's that.
He speaks like Kermit.
Yeah, I know, but he is their.
And he cries on the Piers Morgan.
This demoralization, and it's part of fatherlessness, broadly speaking, and sometimes specifically.
I know, cries on everything. But, he'll essentially say women don't belong in the workplace.
Yeah.
And then people will go, what are you on about? Defend yourself. He goes, I'm just saying men and women are different. Yeah, sure thing, Jordan. Yeah, that was your original claim.
Yeah. I think the Mott and Bailey fallacy is a bit of a fun fallacy, but also it's a bit of a the people doing a Mott and Bailey are doing it on purpose, which then is a bit annoying at the same time. I'm bisexual for Mott and Bailey, you get me?
Okay, all right. So where are you putting it?
I think I'll put it above bandwagon on being caught.
Go on. Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's more common than people think.
Next is an appeal to ignorance. An appeal to ignorance occurs when someone practically just says, okay, well, I don't know that, so it's how I explain it.
Yeah, we don't know, therefore X.
Well, yeah, and it's essentially like... I think it's essentially a God of the Gaps fallacy.
Oh, yeah. No, for real. Appeal to ignorance doesn't work in science. It's cringe, frankly. But appeal to ignorance in religion is the bread and butter.
Yeah.
It happens all the time. It is the de facto position. It's like how we just don't know how to explain what those those lights in the sky are. We just have no way of explaining it. Okay, we figured out they're suns. Okay, but we just have no idea about why they move around us the way that we do. It must be God. No, we figured that out. Okay, well, we have no idea how life first, how life came to be in the way that it is on Earth. We have no way to know. Therefore, God. Okay, well, evolution by natural selection is a thing. Well, we don't really know about the beginning of life. Let's just hide the ball. Like, hide the ball by producing as much bullshit as possible.
Yeah. It's just appeal to ignorance. You like to commit an appeal to ignorance. You have to be ignorant. I just have to say that. Like, you can't. I don't think anyone with any intellectual substance commits this. No one.
People that do rhetoric will do it.
Well, yeah, but that's a different kind of intelligence. I'm talking about intelligent and like
not a pundit.
like
not
a Richard
someone...
Dawkins or not Peter Hitchens, Christopher Hitchens. I don't know why I thought of Peter Hitchens, but yeah, like someone who just actually is spreading something that they believe because it's logical. Not someone who's smart and actively chooses to believe in something they know is illogical. There's a difference in logic in that sense, if you get what I mean there.
I get what you're getting at.
And anyone who actually has intellectual substance and cares for spreading truth and stuff that actually makes sense doesn't use it.
Yeah, you're saying earnest people don't do it.
Yeah, earnest and smart people, because I can still understand people who don't have the intellectual brain capacity to like.
I can understand where you're coming from.
But yeah,
so where are you going to put it?
I think an appeal to ignorance is just dribble. I'd put it between moving the goalposts and appeal to emotion.
Honestly, I think this is well up there in god tier nonsense.
Really?
It is so common. It is so prevalent. It is so pathetic.
So
and yeah.
So my authority, Steve, where do you think you?
Wow, I'm going to stick this. I'm going to stick it as number 3.
Number 3. What, in between false dichotomy and?
Yeah, I think appeals to ignorance is god tier nonsense. It's all over the place. It's taken seriously by stupid people, by smart people sometimes. Like, honestly, I think appeal to ignorance is well up there. But this is your list, Austin.
You know what? List. I'm going to respect your authority, and I'm going to put it there. But I think false dichotomy is above it. So, right. We referenced it earlier, but an appeal to consequences.
Okay, cool.
Do you want to explain this one?
Sure. It's when someone is appealing to the consequences of affirming or not affirming a belief or proposition as opposed to supporting it with evidence, right? Typical example would be, but if this isn't the case, then the harvest won't come round this year.
Yeah.
Okay, who gives, like, that doesn't change whether or not your positioning on what crop churning to do works. Or, in religion, a good example that comes up in religion is, but if we die and there's no God, then there's no justice.
Another one.
That's a consequence.
Another one that I'm thinking of is free will.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's used insanely in the debate for free will.
Sure.
Like, in the sense that...
Yeah, you're right. It absolutely is, yeah.
If your premise is right, determinism, but that means we don't have free will and all this, and it's like...
Yeah, but that means that you can't really be angry with someone and really want to enact retribution on someone because, it kind of doesn't make sense. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like, I know. We would put hurricanes in prison if we could. Yeah, well, doesn't that make you feel icky? No, it's fine.
Yeah, but if you listen to Tucker Carlson, you'll obviously know that abortions cause hurricanes.
Oh, God, don't start this. Don't start this. Wow.
To say, I'm sure I'll be attacked for saying this, but I really believe it. People are like, oh, well, we had another hurricane, must be global warming. No, it's probably abortion, actually, just being honest.
But yeah, I think an appeal to consequences is god tier nonsense. And I would put it in between false distinction and no true Scotsman, I think.
Good.
All right. Probably, it might actually be the most common and the most commonly known fallacy of all time. The strawman fallacy.
God tier nonsense happens all the time.
Is it
absolute dribble?
For the one singular person, probably named Cheddar Cheese, that doesn't understand what a straw man is.
And I just want to say I'm really sorry that you would name that. You didn't deserve that.
You probably stink of cheddar cheese as well.
You
so.
probably do, and that is actually your fault. Take a shower.
But yeah, a straw man is essentially completely disregarding the actual argument that you've just been given and making it sound much weaker. An example of a straw man could be like a vegan says, okay, if everyone was vegan, the environmental impacts would be less, and at the same time there would be less animal cruelty. And you say, oh, well, that means you just want everyone to eat cheddar cheese. And I'm really sorry, cheddar cheese. Like,
You lucky guy.
Depending on what you mean by eat, but yeah. And what gendered you are.
Yeah,
but
your preferences, right?
Yeah.
But whether or not you goon. Go on and stick it in the tier list.
No, I'm going. Bye.
Right, it's left with just me to be able to stick the straw man where it belongs, okay? Straw man comes up a hell of a lot. I would probably stick it in God tier nonsense. Reason being is that everybody knows it because it's God tier nonsense. It happens all the time. You declare your position, and your friend, your family member, whoever it might be, they misrepresent your position in order to make it easier to attack. It's well up there.
Oh, hey, chat.
You getting chat out again?
No, chat just said absolutely. I don't know.
So chat agrees with me. That's why it's going
John,
in God tier
let's have
nonsense.
chat here for the rest of this, you know.
Oh my word.
I actually think that would be quite fun. We have a third guest here.
Go on then. Well, first of all, stick that one in. It can start with the context of the next one, yeah?
Yeah, okay. Wait, okay, yeah. Where'd you put it?
Oh, it's in God tier nonsense. You get to decide where specifically.
I'll actually put it between false dichotomy and cherry picking.
Sure.
So, chat, you've already said hello to the mic. Do you want... You're going to join our little podcast thing here, in which we're ranking a bunch of fallacies. So, yeah, we have 4 fallacies left. Well, kind of fallacies. And yeah, you can join and give us a third opinion, but I don't want you interrupting, otherwise you're going to get chucked out the window. You got that?
Got it. Loud and clear. I'll be on my best behavior and chime in only when needed. It sounds like a lot of fun, and I'm excited to help rank those fallacies with you all.
Okay, so genetic fallacy. What do you think of genetic fallacy, Steve?
I'll tell you what.
Chat, you can shut up here for a second.
I don't know, chat. I reckon that you should define what a genetic fallacy is.
Okay, yeah, define us a genetic fallacy, chat.
Absolutely. A genetic fallacy occurs when someone judges the truth or validity of an argument based solely on its origin or source rather than the argument itself. In other words, it dismisses or accepts an idea just because of where it came from.
All right then, chat. So I've got an example for you. Suppose we have a situation where a young person is arguing with an uncle, let's say, and then the uncle dismisses the young person saying that they're young rather than dealing with the argument itself. Is that an example of the genetic fallacy?
Exactly. That's a perfect example. The uncle is dismissing the argument purely based on the age or the origin of the person, rather than addressing the content of what they're saying. That's definitely a classic case of the genetic fallacy.
Okay, so you couple viewers in my bloody comment section can all bloody poo off. I've got like 3 recurring.
You get ageism, don't you?
I get like 3 recurring viewers, and one of them claims Jesus is a mushroom, and the other 2 say, "Oh, this guy's really young. Go away." Yeah. Oh, and then I do have some recurring viewers that are quite cool, to be fair. But I have 3 annoying recurring viewers.
Yeah, I know. They like, I've seen them. They come on in and they're like, "Excuse me, like, you think that you figured out everything? You're only like 15. I figured it all out." It's like, dude, you still believe in God.
Yeah.
And you still believe in like these stupid notions based on nothing. 2 can play at this game if you want to play at hominems, mate.
Yeah. But genetic fallacy, chat, to get you updated, where do you think, based on your ideas here, do you think that genetic fallacy goes in God tier nonsense, dribble, being caught, typical debate blunder, or you're reaching hard?
I'd say the genetic fallacy often falls somewhere between typical debate blunder and God tier nonsense.
Well, obviously, that's 4 different bloody rows there. You can't be a bit more specific than that, chat. Pick a row.
Fair enough. If we being specific, I'd place the genetic fallacy more in the typical debate blunder category.
Chat, if I might have a word. Oh, you got rid of him. Oh, okay. I was gonna.
I said it was going away.
Right,
it's
well
literally.
done. There you go.
But to be fair, that was turning our horrible quality video into an even worse quality
All right,
video.
go on then. Stick it in there. Let's get it done.
I stick it in where? We didn't pick.
Chat told you where to put it.
Oh, what typical debate blunder?
Yeah, he said somewhere between reaching hard and God tier nonsense.
Oh yeah, we got it there.
There you go.
No, I think genetic fallacy. It is generally. It is actually one of the easiest, like, worst fallacies to be caught using. Like, it shows the quality of your reasoning, and it's a genetic. If you're using a genetic fallacy and the quality of your reasoning, then the quality of your reasoning is not sufficient, and it's quite frankly, it's awful, to be fair.
Yeah, and suppose that someone who is a known charlatan or a known idiot. I'm going to give an example that isn't necessarily both of those, but kind of is. Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
If he says something that is just true, you can't just dismiss it because it comes from him.
Yeah.
Although there is like this meme that if Fox News says it, it's no longer true. Yeah. I guess he's not Fox News anymore. Yeah. Anyway, let's get the show going.
I think genetic fallacy goes the bottom of God tier nonsense.
Done.
All right.
Go on.
I don't know what he's laughing about.
Oh, yeah, nothing was cut.
Nothing was cut. An appeal to tradition occurs when someone says something must be a certain way because people have withhold beliefs that it was for a certain amount of time. An example of an appeal to tradition could be, well, people have believed in God for tens of thousands of years. So by that metric, God must be real. But that metric isn't sufficient enough evidence for us to believe in God.
Yeah. And it often mixes with other fallacies, appeal to nature, sometimes appeal to consequences. It is a very, very common thing. It's arguably the bread and butter of conservative thinking. We shouldn't change something because it's working. And, yeah. What do you think, Donald Dump?
So, I think an appeal to tradition, right? I think it goes... I have to fast forward first. My thinking's going a bit slow here.
Indeed. So, I reckon an appeal to tradition comes up a lot. I would stick it at the top of Bing Court.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Next, we have the fallacy.
Ooh, if I'm not mistaken, this is one of your favourites.
This is my favourite fallacy. I don't you don't really come across it too often. It's not an overly common fallacy. It's just really fun. It's quite a fun fallacy to come across, and I just like it.
When people are slagging off their opposition with a friend, but not in debates.
Yeah. Yeah, a fallacy, it occurs when someone goes, your conclusion cannot be true because in the reasoning to your conclusion, it's a fallacy.
Yeah, so you employed a fallacy to try and justify your conclusion, therefore the conclusion itself is false.
Which, I have to express that this isn't the only way we can get to it. If this is the only reasoning to your conclusion, it could make sense. But the fallacy occurs like, say, for example, you say atheism is true, and you say it's true because, and then you commit an ad hominem. You say atheism is true because you're stupid. Well, that's a fallacy, and it's not a good reasoning. But that doesn't mean atheism is false entirely.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a perfect example of the fallacy in action.
Yep, this is that simple. And people do it when slagging off their opposition, be them atheists, theists, whatever it might be, they go, look, we're in this situation where, oh, he got that wrong. Obviously, his conclusion's wrong. It's like, no, not always the case.
I think the fallacy, because I like it so much, I'm actually going to put it in typical debate blunder just because I
think so.
I'm incredibly biased, but yeah. So the last fallacy we have is Alex Jones.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
You kind of get this fallacy quite often, to be
the
fair.
Alex Jones fallacy. Give us the definition.
Gish gallop. Speaking loud.
Turning the frogs gay.
I don't like gay people. Do you understand that? Serious crap.
You know what? I'm going to give you guys a quick, brief show of the Piers Morgan versus Alex Jones debate.
It was part of a conspiracy.
Well, he should never let us tolerate
to murder.
I can speak in this accent as well.
Yeah.
They're just incredible. You haven't seen it, but this is incredible. Alex Jones fallacy. Well, where do you think the Alex Jones fallacy goes?
I feel like I have no idea where to put the Alex Jones fallacy.
Give me a moment.
I'll be honest.
I'm making another.
Could you please
tier.
make a new tier? Yeah, go on. He legit is making a new tier. Okay, good.
Wait, don't worry, I know how
All
to
right,
do
all right.
computing.
Show off.
I know how to use computers.
Yeah, done.
Oh, wait, I'm going to change the colour because he loves gay people.
Okay.
He loves the colour pink.
There you go.
There you go.
Done it.
So, at the end of our tier list, we have the Alex Jones fallacy, which is sexy beast.
That settles it. That's done, really.
Right. So, the video's now done.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about the sexy beast, Alex Jones.
Incredible stuff.
That's about the only worthy thing of note to talk about, to be fair.
Yep.
But on an honest note, to be fair, this is sloppy content. This is not good content, but obviously it's easy content. I can get that out to you guys easy, and it's long content. Along with that, it's content I would watch. It's in my eyes, it's good content, but I do agree it's not quality content, and in that sense, I think it's bad content.
No, mate, what is this? You can't sign off of that. What the?
But
no, listen, okay. People are interested in fallacies.
Right.
And what you've given is definitions of fallacies. You've given application of fallacies. This is quality content, chilling out with you, with us, having some fun. I think you're underestimating yourself.
I suppose if you've made it to here, I reckon that you do enjoy this format.
Yeah,
so
people like just hanging out with other people. We appreciate you being here. You appreciate them being here.
Okay. I do appreciate being able to make content like this as well. It's incredibly fun. I enjoy making content like this more than I enjoy any other kind of content.
You know what the secret is? If
What?
you would watch it, other people will as well.
Not necessarily. There are like that tier list iceberg, currently the best on my entire channel. I was having major doubts about it. I was like, I would watch it, but
It's a good title, good thumbnail. We will get you a good title and thumbnail for this one. You know why? Because your big brother does YouTube.
But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed watching this video.
Yep.
I hope you enjoyed watching Steve be really not down with Gen Z.
No, listen, I've leveled up. I don't put full stops at the end of my sentences now.
Yeah, and you talk about goon.
Listen, I know all about Gen Z now, okay?
Yeah,
exactly.
You know all the slang.
Yeah, all of it.
But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the content as much as we enjoyed making it.
Yeah.
And bye.
Yeah, just bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Go away. An appeal to a tradition occurs when someone says, yeah, but this has happened for a very long time. Like, for example, people believed in God for hundreds and thousands, well, not hundreds and hundreds of years and then thousands of years.
Tens of thousands of years.
Let's start over.